This is Captain Leule Abate. He's an Ethiopian Airlines pilot, but we'll just call him Maverick. And his plane has already been hijacked twice on two separate occasions before this incident. You see, in November 1986, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 961 was hijacked by three young Ethiopian men just 20 minutes after takeoff. The men stormed the cockpit wielding an axe and a fire extinguisher. They attacked the co-pilot and forced him out of the cockpit. They then demanded that the plane be flown to Australia so that they could seek asylum in the country. You see, Maverick attempted to explain to them that they only had enough fuel for the scheduled flight to Nairobi, thus could not even make a quarter of the trip to Australia. But the hijackers did not believe him. They declared in Amharic, French, and English that if anyone tried to interfere, they had a bomb and they would use it to blow up the plane. Authorities would later determine that the supposed bomb was actually a covered-up bottle of liquor the hijackers had taken from the plane's storage. The hijackers also told Maverick that they had 9 other hijackers in the back of the plane. With no way of verifying the number of hijackers and whether the bomb was real or not, Maverick decided to make the best of what was already a difficult situation. So instead of flying towards Australia, he flew along the African coastline. But the hijackers noticed that land was still visible and forced him to steer east. However, Maverick secretly headed for the Comoros Islands. The plane only had 4 hours of fuel, and the flight to Australia would have taken 11 hours, but the hijackers continued to ignore his warnings. You see, the hijackers were reading from an in-flight magazine, which told them the maximum flying time of a 767 was around 11 hours, so they thought the captain was bluffing. You see, the hijackers didn't know that commercial aircrafts only carry the necessary amount of fuel they need, so Maverick was stuck. If he did what the hijackers wanted, the plane would definitely crash into the Indian Ocean 7 hours away from Australia. But if he doesn't do what they want, they might blow the plane up. But there was no way Maverick could challenge the hijackers. You see, they still had an axe which they could easily use to unalive him. And if he died, so would everybody else on the plane. Out of options, Maverick began to circle the area, hoping to land the plane at the Comoros Islands main airport. As the plane slowly ran out of fuel, Maverick lost an engine at 39,000 feet. He then slowly started following standard safety procedures. He started the auxiliary power unit, which is a generator that can supply extra electric power when one engine is lost. Realizing the plane was in imminent danger, Maverick decides to explain the situation to the passengers and encourages them to react to the hijackers. But in his attempt to be subtle by using the word react instead of words like subdue or overpower, the true meaning of his message was lost in translation and instead caused confusion among the passengers. And in the end, due to caution, uncertainty, and fear, the passengers failed to react. At this point, the hijackers think Maverick is deliberately slowing down and descending the plane, so they begin fighting him for the controls, causing the aircraft to lurch from one side to the other. Finally, the plane runs out of fuel and the other engine stops, and now Maverick finds himself in a situation where he's single-handedly steering a 100-ton plane directly into the Indian Ocean. But our boy Maverick has the Comoros Islands main airport in his sight, and he's slowly steering the plane towards it. But as he struggled to fight the hijackers for control, he completely lost sight of the airport. He now finds himself in a situation where he's forced to crash land the plane into the Indian Ocean at 200 miles per hour. So Maverick quickly tells the passengers to put on their life vests. But he also instructs them not to inflate them. But due to panic, most of the passengers inflated their life jackets. The plane then crashes into the water, causing it to break apart into 3 different parts. As water pours into the fuselage, people who had already inflated their jackets become trapped, and a number of them actually died because of this. Of the 175 passengers and staff members, only 50 people survived, and so did our boy Maverick. So shout out to him. And real quick before I leave, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I really appreciate it. It will help me out. This is actually my first ever video. I don't know if you guys can tell. English is not my first language. I'm struggling over here. I'm swallowing saliva and all that. It's hectic. But anyway, I hope I did the video justice. And if you think I didn't, let me know. I appreciate the constructive criticism. You see that? Barely got those words out. Struggling. English is not my first language. I should make a t-shirt of that. But anyway, subscribe, man. Anyway, subscribe, and like, and let me know what you need.